Hello guys, welcome to another rigging tutorial. In this one, we are going to grab some motion capture data and transfer that to our rig. Okay, so here I'm on Maximo. That's one of the popular platforms to get animation. Okay, so I'm gonna steal something over here. Okay, let me go ahead and search for kicking. Okay. There is some cool kicking animation. Maybe we can go still, right? Let's see. Maybe this one. Okay, so let me go ahead and download that. And I just need an FBX, and I don't need the skin. 24 frames per second, and that should be it. So go ahead and download this guy. Okay. When that is done, then I can go grab that. Okay, let me let me put it to my project. So here. Okay, now let me go ahead and open that. Now it is an FBX, but I can actually change my files of type to all files, and I can actually grab this guy and open it. Don't need to save anything. And you can see we have this kicking animation, right? Cool. So to start with, I need to convert this into a character description. And one thing to be aware of is that you want it, let me change my UI back. So you want it to be in a T-pose, or in its original pose basically, before you do that. So I'm gonna grab all the root joint and go for select hierarchy here, and then go ahead and zero out all the rotations to make it go back to the bending pose. And then I can go, there could be something on the center of gravity, the root joint, but I just don't know what that value is, so I have to just use what it gives me. Okay, and then I can go for the character, human IK part. And then I can create a character definition here, and then I can go rename this character to be Maximo description. Whoops, yeah. And then we go ahead and start setting up the joints. That's pretty straightforward. You just grab the joint and fan out the proper joint here. When you see those drop downs, there actually means that you have something inside. So let me grab the clavicle here, right, and right click here and add or assign selected bone. Okay, back here and grab this guy. Okay, and then do that. Oops. And just keep on going until we have everything added. You can see it's able to recognize the other side. Okay, now here in the hand we can go to the inside, and you can see we have actually a bunch of bones also, so we need to do that one by one. Okay, right, so whoops. If you did something you're not sure you did it correctly or not, you can clear it and then reassign just to be sure, right? Yeah. And I hope that there is like a automatic recognition, because sometimes I feel like, you know, they have this auto rig already, feature built in already. I think maybe they're able to find what's going on if it's a generic rig, but you just have to do it manually for now. Whoops. Yeah, I'm selecting multiple ones. Okay. All right. Then you can also hover the cursor here and see what joints are assigned here. 3, 2, 1 for the middle index. Right. Hand is probably the most difficult part. All right, and then we can go to the root here and add that, and one more here for that, and there is a bunch more. you always go from the root to the top. So the next guy will be this guy. You just go from the root, right? The next guy will be this guy, so keep on going. And if you don't have more, you just leave those empty. Here we have the neck, so let me grab the neck and add it here. And we have the head, right? And that's gonna be this guy. And then moving on down to the legs, just that, and that, and that. And eventually we can grab the, you know, the toe joint. Okay, cool. Now that's actually everything. And then when we were done with that, we can go ahead and save this guy. So save CNS, and I'm gonna save this as kicking animation. Okay. All right. Now one more thing I want to do is go ahead and also save this description. So I'm gonna hit the save. Call this guy Maxmo temp, and default setting will be in this path in your C drive. So you could also change that, but if you put it here, then they are able to be found very quickly when you open a different file. Anyway, I'm gonna save it here for now. Cool. Now go back to our rig. And we need to do the same thing. So I'm gonna grab this join and start by creating a character definition. Okay, we can rename our character to be Sophia. Definition. Our character. All right, and then again we need to do the same thing for the joints. Right. So we go from the root, next one, and here we can hit the down arrow button to select the child if that's faster. Right. Here we're going for the neck. So downward arrow button. Okay, that's gonna be the head, so I'm gonna do that here. All right. Again, here we can go for the bone. Okay, back up here and grab the. Yeah, that's the clavicle. Back here we can go select our shoulder, right? The elbow, the wrist. Okay. Now it's gonna tell you like there's something wrong over here. If you look at it, it's basically saying that it's not parallel to the x-axis because our character is actually rigged in a A pose, right? So here is actually something you have to be aware of. If your captured data is actually T-pose, you probably want your character to be T-pose. So here, just to make it a little bit more consistent, we can actually clear these guys. Okay. So what we could do is we could make our character go for a T-pose first, and that's gonna generally give us better results. So I'm gonna grab my controller here and Control G to group it, and then name that group T-pose. Okay, and then basically make it T-pose more or less. So I'm gonna go for, I don't know, 55 degree, and do the same thing for the other side. So T-pose. Also 55. Okay, that way it's gonna be more like a T-pose. I could also tweak my other controllers, but just for the simplicity, we just keep it like that. Okay, should be fun. We can tweak the animation later. The capture data will never be perfect, so you always have to tweak the animation anyways. Alright, so let me do that again this time. Back to our character, and we can keep on going now. Grab the clavicle. Yeah, clavicle is there already. And we can go grab this guy. Okay. And this guy. And then this guy. Okay. Now it's still gonna give you that warning, but we know that it's the T-post already. Okay, and for the inside, let's just do it a little bit differently because I have the joints, but I also have my controller. Let's try the controller this time. See if you can transfer the animation right directly to the controller. Okay, so that and that and that. Otherwise, it doesn't really hurt us either because we actually don't have the controller setup for the fingers anyways in the control setup later on, so it will be actually better to try it to have the controller over here instead, because again you will see what that means. But anyway, let's do controller here. There, one more here, and keep on going. Oops. Keep on going here. Keep on going here. Okay. Now that's the fingers. Back here to the other side. Have the fingers also. That's real nice because it actually knows the other one for some reason. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's the right side fingers. Alright, now go back here to our legs, right? Just go grab the leg joint. Okay. And go inside. I'm gonna grab the last joint over here. Alright, so that's gonna be our description. The description here, I can see it still says that the arm and the two arms are not parallel to the x-axis, but that should be fine in our case. So let's go ahead and save our model here. Let's call this guy Software Rig description. Done. Oops. Yeah. And then we need to go ahead and use our rigged controls to build a custom rig. So this is going to be the last icon here called create custom rig mapping. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And here then that's where we grab our controller and then assign them to those different varied pieces. And unfortunately it's not able to recognize the symmetrical part in the default setting. Okay, so we could we have to go ahead and do that ourselves, but it's fun. It's not a lot of controllers anyways, and we just do FK in this case. You can see we don't have fingers up there, and that's why oops, I think something is wrong with this finger for some reason. Why did I rotate it? Did I do that here too? That's not a very good sign because that means our default setting is not correct for that part. Don't know when I did that. Anyway, hopefully this is not going to be a big deal. Anyway, let's go back to our human IK here and keep assigning our controllers. Again, you can see there is no setup for the hands, so I guess I don't know why. It would be better if they have hands there also, but they don't. So anyway, I'm gonna go grab the root over here and add it. Now inside of it, we can then grab our first controller down the span, and that's all I have. And this guy will be the chest, and for the neck, I have oops. For the neck, I have 1, 2, and this one is actually the head. Okay, now moving on down to the legs, just the same thing, right? Add the leg controllers from the side to the knee to the ankle, and eventually it doesn't have that either. Yeah, there's no toe joint for some reason. So I'm gonna go here, also add it right here, that, and that, and that. Okay, so that's gonna be my custom rig setup. Okay, let's go ahead and save this file one more time. Custom rig finished. Alright, now it's time to bring in our animation and match it. So what we do here is go to File, and then we can go for a Create Reference, and then go grab our kicking animation and reference that. The reason we're referencing is because we can easily get rid of the reference by kicking that out, and that's gonna leave us a very clean file, right? Otherwise, you're referencing a lot of stuff and you delete something in the viewport, you still have some random node that maybe is, you know, roaming around or just not really helping you, and they're gonna be like garbage, right, in your scene file. Anyway, so I'm gonna go again to the source here, right? It doesn't matter what I select because I'm selecting my Sophia rig here. So I'm gonna go to the source and choose now the maximal description. Okay, you can see my model moved a little bit. That means now my model here, my rig here is actually following the animation of this one, and that's what its source is. The animation is how many frames? 62. So let me change that to 62 here. You can see we're already capturing the data, isn't it? Okay. All right, we can go and take a look at what we have. Okay, cool. And then those animations are baked right on the surface, on the from our animation right to the controllers. And for now, they're actually a connection. They're not baked, so we want to bake them. That's right. So go to the human IK here and go to the little icon, go for bake, and we can then bake it to the custom rig. Okay, that's when the animation actually transfers to our rig, and then we can go ahead and safely go for reference editor and kick that out by grabbing this and delete that and remove. Okay. So now that rig is gone, or that animation is gone. Let's show none and show polygon only. You can see this is our character. You can see the animation is transferred over to our rig now, right? Oops. Why is the eye moving? The eye is having some animation. Maybe that's something I forget to delete when I was rigging it. Anyway, let me go fix that. So the animation then is now baked on your controller. You can see every frame has an animation, right? But for a motion capture data, you know this is not bad, but you still need to tweak it, right? Because your character is different, and some of the movement maybe is too drastic or not enough, right? So based on your character, you do have to kind of like tweak it afterwards. But that's what when the animator came into play, right? That's when they started to clean it up and add new details and possibly make changes if you know, they need to change that. All right, so after this, let's also talk about how do we change the animation to a different animation, right? We spent all those time matching things up, but what if I wanted to grab another one? Let's go ahead and get another one here. Let's see. This one looks pretty cool. Let me go grab that and download it. Okay, let's say, okay, I want this one also, right? How can I even do that? It's also called kicking. Let me go change that name to kicking02 and copy that to my scene. Okay, and now back here, I'm gonna say I could save this. Okay, let's call this guy Sophia rig kick01 animation, and then I'm gonna go open the kicking02. Open that. Okay, and then you can see our joints over here, right? I'm gonna again grab everything here and try to zero that out. I could actually just go right here and we can go for the root. Okay, and then create character definition. And before we do any actual assignment, because we have done that before on the same joint structure, so we could actually now load our template, and you can see it's already here. Right? That's the thing we saved earlier. So we can just go ahead and hit OK. You can see it's automatically giving us that. Oh, we actually have to zero things out. That's right. Because if we don't do that, then we're considering this shape, this pose as the default pose. So probably need to do that right away. So let me go select the hierarchy and zero out the rotation. That's at least the thing we have to do, right? Back here's the human IK. You can see now it's all happy. And let me delete that. I just redo this just to be safe. Okay, let me go ahead and load. I have to select the root to do that. Okay. All right, now it's all happy. And let me rename this guy. This is going to be the kicking 02. Okay. And I can save my file. So save scene as kicking 02 should be fun. And then I can open my Sophia rig, custom rig finished, right? That's the one we just finished setup. And then we can then go ahead and reference in our kicking 02. Okay. And again, we just go change our character's source to kicking 02. You can see our model moved to that position. Let me actually disable the animation on the eye. Don't know why I have that. So break connections. All right, now if I go ahead and play the animation, you can see now we're playing the other animation, right? Cool. Let me go ahead and bake the animation to our custom rig. All right, and then I can go to the reference editor and kick that out. So now I have my animation baked on my rig. Now look at this one, you can see we do actually start to see some imperfections. Like here, you can see the arm is in there, right? That's the rotation, captured. So that's all accurate data, but your character could be different, and that's what's causing the problem here. Let me change my view settings to 1. Yeah. So if you see those weird things like that is sticking out from the model, when you zoom away, that's because of the near clip plane. Just make that something bigger, like 1 or so. Turn on that and that just to have a better viewport. Yeah, you can see the movement is there. It's just having that offset that you have to fix. So capture data are not perfect for all the rigs. You have to make your own adjustment eventually. All right, cool. So that's basically the basics of transferring the motion capture data into your rig. In theory, this should work with other rigs, but it's easier if your rig has, like my rig, have like a simple deformation joint chain, right? Then they're connected and they're just a separated system outside of the rigging system down here. That way it's easier to pick your stuff and also much easier to transfer this to a game engine. That's for sure. Okay, anyway, all right, that's going to be everything I want to talk about. Thanks for watching. See you next time.